Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing LEGO Star Wars set number 75304 Darth Vader helmet. This set has 834 pieces, it's for ages 18 and up, and it retails for $70 in the US. This is the most expensive helmet set made so far because it is the largest both in terms of size and piece count, and honestly it's worth that extra $10. In pictures, I didn't like how studded this was. I am not a anti-stud Lego fan. You know, I really hate when everyone's like, oh, I don't want any studs showing, because I like studs showing. But every other helmet has a good balance between smoothed and studded surfaces. And in photos, I didn't like that there was just this one stripe of smooth and then the rest was studded. In person, I think it's a lot better, although I would still prefer fewer studs on the side flaps. So honestly, let's start there. We'll circle back around to the face. But the way that the flaps are built is pretty interesting, although you can just fold these up. They don't really hold though because they're so heavy. And again, all of the angles on the helmet are achieved quite well. Everything just fits together a lot better than I expected, and I really like the way that it was built. So here's a closer look at the side. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off actually so that you guys can kind of start to see how it's built, because that is the most interesting part of the helmets. So you can get a glimpse inside over here, and you can see that the bottom half of this helmet is very different from any others, because you also have to allow space for kind of these tubes or whatever they are to go towards the front of the mask. And so in there, those colorful pieces aren't even covered up with any studs. They are just covered by the flap. But I mean, the flap does a great job of covering them up. The only thing that I would change here is, like I said, I would prefer fewer studs. So I would have liked to see some of these plates be tiles instead, but I do understand why they went for a consistent studded look. I also want to commend the roundness of the head, you know, because building round shapes in Lego, this is exactly how BB-8 is built, how the dome on the Taj Mahal is built. It's just kind of layered square pieces that all go together and end up creating a curve. And I did not mean to break that, but it's done very well on this set. It really looks like there's a head in there. And this thing is heavy. This set is so much heavier than I was expecting. It's twice as heavy as some other helmets, some of the lighter ones I'm thinking about, like the Batman cowl. And so you really feel like you have your money's worth when you're holding this in your hand. Circling back around to the front, we just got the typical plaque with the printed name, and it's just got the same exact style of base. Although down here, there is something interesting because you kind of have the lower part of the mask. So that can be adjusted a little bit because it's just right down there attached to the base. And actually, this is a great angle for you to see the underside of the mask as well, because this is a stickered piece, and this is kind of finicky actually because it's on just a little upward hinge, and it's only attached with one stud, so it's easily knocked out of alignment. And again, putting stickers on upside down things like this, it's really annoying. I don't like that these sets have stickers. They should only have prints for the insane prices that they are. But I mean, this one does look nice, and it provides some extra detail in an area where you normally wouldn't even see. I've kind of been avoiding talking about the face area because it is my favorite part of the set. The way that this thing was built was crazy. I loved every minute of it. While I was building it, I was just constantly fascinated by the building techniques and just how everything fit together, and it was very, very pleasing. You know, I watch a lot of Jangbricks reviews. He often says oh, you need to build this to understand why it's this price, or to really understand what's going on. And this is a set where I really feel that's applicable. You have no idea how much goes in to the face here, and I really love it. There are some more stickers here. Unfortunately, we have one for the nose as well as some for the mouth grills. I've also seen that it's inaccurate that these stop here. They should go all the way through down to the bottom of the mask. And that doesn't really bother me. I know some people say it makes them look a little bit rat-faced. I see what they're talking about. I understand how it's inaccurate. And I would like it better if they actually extended all the way down. But I mean, it's not a huge deal to me. It doesn't ruin my enjoyment of the set. But again, these should be prints. I should not have to apply a super tiny annoying 1x1 sticker on a set like this that's $70. So talking about the eyes a little bit more, you can see that these pieces are kind of shaky, and that's probably the part that I like least about the build. Everything in here is just so delicate that whenever I touch near the face, I feel these are gonna break off. And I mean, they won't actually break off. I think they're just very flexible. You'd really have to pull to get them to go anywhere. And I actually want to see if I can break this a little bit to show you guys some of the build back here, because like I said, it was very interesting. Okay, yeah, so here we go. So first of all, lots of multicolored pieces, but this is the way the eyes are built. There are just some bars back in there, and again, you can just see how intricate the inside of this helmet is compared to like every other helmet. We've even got like upside down building over here, and I mean like all of these sections are just like glued on in such interesting ways. It was a very fun build. So yeah, so I think that the way that the eyes are built by just being attached to those bars at the back is super interesting, because I mean, I don't know how else they would have done it, but I just wasn't really expecting that. But then on the other hand, I don't love it because it does make them like more wobbly. And that's not a huge thing unless you're going to be touching this, but it's just like not something that I love. And then lastly, I do just want to touch on these bars at the side. This is built by just like a pin with like a ball joint at the end. There's just like a 6L bar with like a stopper like plugged into that. So that's pretty interesting. And this angle might be like one of my favorite parts of the set, because everything just comes in together very closely and quite well, and then terminates in like these little 1x1 stamp pieces. These pieces on the side are actually like jousting poles from Castle. So I think that that's just a really interesting parts usage, and it looks quite good when all is said and done. Here are the extra pieces. The box for this set is that just regular super tall helmet box design. On the side, we do have a pretty nice picture of it, and then along the back, we do have some nice comparisons with the movies. Here is the pretty large instruction manual for this set. At the start, we've got some information about Darth Vader. I quite like that concept art. I think that that's from Rogue One. And then at the back, we don't have any other ads for the other helmets, but we do have just that little feedback page. So overall, I think that this is a pretty fantastic set. It might be my favorite of the helmets, like just in terms of the build, because like I said, I just had so much fun with the build, especially for the face, obviously. And the price is like a sticking point. Most of these helmet sets are very overpriced. This is the first one to be $70 instead of $60. And to a certain degree, it justifies that price increase. It's got more pieces, it's more complex, it's definitely heavier, because that's the thing. Price per part ratio is all well and good, and it's good on all of the Star Wars helmet sets, but not all of them feel like they should be the same price. And so LEGO says like judge by weight. That's something else that they say. And by weight, this one is much heftier than the other helmets. So I'm very pleased on like all fronts with that. But then on the other hand, $70 still feels like a lot of money for something of this size. It is bigger than the other helmets, so I don't necessarily feel ripped off or anything, but I also hesitate to say that this is worth as much as like a $70 LEGO playset. I do like that LEGO's adjusting the pricing for the Star Wars helmets, though. All of the superhero ones are $60, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. So I'm really glad that, you know, LEGO's more flexible with Star Wars. There's one $50 one, there's one $70 one, and the rest are $60. And to that point, I do think the Star Wars ones are generally more worth the money than the superheroes ones are. So if you want this set, I would say you don't really need to wait for a sale. $70 is a fine price, but I mean, I would probably buy it from like lego.com so you get VIP points, or wait for a good gift with purchase. So that's it for today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com. I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.